Hello everyone, my name is Julia Martensen. I'm an innovation officer here at ServiceNow with ServiceNow Futures, and I'm very honored to be here today with Stef from Platformation. Can you tell us a little more about yourself, your organization, and the partnership with ServiceNow?
My name is Stef Knaepkens. I'm the Chief AI Officer at Platformation. Platformation is a ServiceNow pure player, so we are an elite partner. We are now 750 people, mainly focused on the EMEA region. Oh. And for us, what is happening in ServiceNow, we are an innovator, let's say. We have also built products on the platform that are now ServiceNow products even. So we did some engineering, some new product development. So yeah, we are really addicted to the platform, let's say.
Okay, so what does skin in the game actually look like for you?
Yes, yeah, skin in the game, that's actually what we do for our customers. We do implementations. So implementations, we help them implement ServiceNow. And what we are seeing lately is that with the introduction of AI in the platform, customers want to see true results. Because there is AI, of course, it's a capability, but people want to see outcomes out of that. And what we have done with ServiceNow, we have built an outcome-based playbook for the partner network, because we are leading a bit in that domain. But for us, outcome-based means skin in the game. It means that we are really committing to our customers about these outcomes. So, and also that means that our remuneration, what we get paid for what we do, is also based on outcomes and no longer on the time we use to build or to implement things. It also means for the customer that they have to put skin in the game, because the moment that you make this kind of an arrangement, there's also an expectation that we have regarding the customer. Like we also want them to commit their time, resources, and attention to this, because AI is not only just configuring the platform, it's also working together with the people and helping them to change their behaviors. So then skin in the game means for our customers, when they invest in ServiceNow, they have skin in the game by definition. But we also put skin in the game, and that builds trust. Mm-hmm.
I know you also take another interesting approach ahead of the engagement. So what does this pre-engagement data analysis do, and how does it work, and what does it potentially even reveal?
We use the pre-analysis because what we ask customers before we start an engagement is what are the desired outcomes. And then we are looking for like around 3 KPIs. And for us to know how feasible it is, we actually do an analysis based on their data. So we look in the system, and using the built-in features of the platform, like process analytics, etc. But we also do some cluster analysis. So we analyze the data, and based on that data, we can make a promise. Because we see trends, we see what's happening in the platform, what the real users are doing, and then from there we can define what use cases we can solve with AI and in what time frame we can do it. Mm. Another aspect to this data-driven analysis, many customers have customized their instance in the past. And if you want to move on with AI, customizations are sometimes hindering you. So also there, this data analysis helps us also to understand the degree of customization, and then we know what actually to remove to make AI work.
And AI fatigue, we see that a lot in the market as well. What does it look like, and when do you actually know that you potentially replace this with AI confidence?
For me, it's very simple, actually. There's a lot of things being said on AI, but if you really look at what people are doing, it's mostly on personal efficiency, personal effectiveness. So people are using co-pilots and chatbots and whatever, and that's all great. But once you put it to a department or to a company, to an organization, then there is no AI fatigue, because there is only few real use cases that were realized. I think there we are still in kind of the dream phase, and that's where we want to help. And that AI fatigue is there, so people are sometimes critical about the added value of AI, but I think that's what you have to expect. If you only look at it from a personal productivity level, we have to look at it in a very different way. We need to look at the organization as a whole.
Can you share examples about Platformation's approach to AI?
What was maybe most relevant? I think what I see happening now is that we have learned that we are now working with AI in the platform for around 3 years. We are there from the beginning. And in the beginning, it was more like assisting, like augmentation, AI augmenting the workflows. What we see happening now is that we are really helping to transform organizations with the use of AI. So we organized our organizations in the past based on a very ancient model of organizational development. So we brought together all the people with certain expertise, we put them in departments, and then when the question came in, we had to connect all these departments. That's where process came from. And in process, it's about information sharing, it's about the time that you use for that. What we see now with AI is that we can rethink this, because knowledge is ubiquitous. The knowledge is no longer in those silos. You can actually pull the knowledge to the front of the process. This means that you can make more speed. And I think that for our customers, it's very important that we help them understand this capability. They should not look at AI to something that is maybe enhancing what you're doing now. That is what we did 3 years ago, but what we do today is really rethinking how AI can work. And I think in the future, also with what ServiceNow is doing now with autonomous place, we will see that those autonomous agents, they will be the colleagues of the humans. And in that sense, this organizational design needs to change.
So you're actually going into the organizational model on their end as well. You're not just plugging AI onto it, but you're allowing them to actually integrate it into their processes.
It's a waste of time if we don't, and that's why that also circles back to outcome-based. If you want to create real outcomes, then you have to rethink it. And what we also are very keen on, we want to deliver results in 90 days, because otherwise you have long projects, and long projects tend to become even bigger, and actually the focus is disappearing. So by putting it in smaller chunks, high speed, high velocity, we call that clock speed, making sure that there's clock speed, that is actually a recipe for success.
I would actually like to talk more about clock speed.
Yeah?
So this sounds like it's disrupting the industry. I haven't heard that before. How did you come up with a concept like clock speed?
We came there because what we see in traditional projects are organized around a layer, people that are actually configuring the platform, the business is talking to analysts, and they build their workflows. On top of that, you have your project managers. They are managing the budgets, the resources, the timelines, and then you have a steer call. And in many organizations, when something goes wrong in that lower layer, it takes up to 30 days before it is visible in the steer call. And that we cannot tolerate that any longer. So we need, clock speed means that we need to compress that also. We want to make sure that if something goes wrong in the project, if there is something that is blocking the success, there need to be immediate action. And these are things that are related to clock speed. And this is a new way of working, let's say. And actually it's more efficient also.
Well, and then also much more tangible. So let's talk about those outcomes or potential results. So 90 days in, are there any specific outcomes, any specific statistics maybe even that you can share about how AI implementations have impacted the customer? Anything you're particularly proud of?
There is plenty of examples, but there is a pattern. So I see like one of the KPIs is like efficiency, like how much time do we spend on things, and that is closely connected to automation. So that's almost a no-brainer. Another one that I'm very passionate about is customer experience, because that's sometimes forgotten. In our traditional Western society thinking, we are so much focused on efficiency that we sometimes forget the customer. So examples are call centers that don't work, and people are frustrated, they lose time, you lose the opportunity to upsell, to cross-sell. Now with what we have in ServiceNow, we can have these conversational interfaces, we can create more customer intimacy. First, efficiency. The second, customer experience. And then thirdly, it depends a bit, but one of the things that is also very hot, I think, is mean time to handle a case. Because often what goes wrong is the triage. So if something is triaged in the wrong way, then it lands in the wrong bucket. And if it's in the wrong bucket, nobody's taking it up. Nobody's calling back to the customer that they are missing information, because people in their queue, they process what's on top and the difficult things they leave. And so there, I think we can do so much. So time, throughput, and customer satisfaction and efficiency. And if you bring those three together, then also for the people working in an organization, it's about reducing friction. That's also our tagline. We make workflow. We want to make workflow for people. It needs to be like easy. It needs to be natural. And And that's also what I find so interesting about what ServiceNow is doing now. Also, like with the acquisition of MoveWorks, the simplification that you have in that front, but also the fact that we have now also identities for agents. It makes it all so easy. It might seem complex from if you look at the whole architecture of the platform. It's incredibly rich in terms of what you can do with it. But in the end, it makes it so frictionless.
We've covered a lot, from the pre-engagement analysis to the 90 days outcomes to the overarching approach. If you would have to summarize a key takeaway, what differentiates Platformation? What would you like viewers to walk away with?
Our tagline is we make workflow, and that is, we really want to do that. We want to reduce friction, and that friction is also for our customers, but also for the customers of our customers. So what differentiates us, I think, is the deep expertise in the product. We are 13 years in the ecosystem. I think we have about the smartest people in the world, so we know exactly what we need to do. And we can combine that with, I think, with a strong vision on how organizations could function in the future. And that future is uncertain, because we know that what we can do today, it's very hard to imagine what we can do in a year from now. That's very hard. But I think we have a very strong architectural capability. So with that capability, we can really pave the road for the future. And we are kind of, we try to be ahead, people-focused, make sure that there is a healthy platform and that it is future-proof, plus that we try to deliver those results.
Amazing. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for the conversation.